So are you talking about your new house?
I'm talking about my new casa. My new casa. Why is it so low?
Because you need to speak up.
My new casa will have things. Thoya things.
That's not a word.
That is a thing.
That's not a word.
R. Kelly made it a word.
Oh, stop
He made
it.
it a
That's
word.
why he's in prison.
Because he made a word called
No,
Thoya
because
things?
he peed on a girl,
Yeah,
and then
but-
he made words about it.
He made words
And
about
then he got
it?
trapped in the closet.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And then he got
I did that
trapped.
when I was at work. I was walking by someone, and I look at him. I was like, and I looked at him. And he looked at me. And I looked at him. And they're like, why are you looking at me? Because you looked at me. But yes.
So we're recording from our new studio / Lyn's new house in West Philadelphia.
I wish. I wish. And it's not that nice. But I've officially upgraded my life. I have a mortgage, an actual location of a residence with
Yes, big boy bills.
I got big boy bills, my big boy
bills.
pants. I take big. Never mind. Yeah. Yes. So
Your arms better be fucking swole.
your arms better be fucking. You're gonna say it eventually at some point. But yeah, no, good steps. You know, we're starting off this recording in a little bit of a different setup. But it's it's my legit spot. The office space will be put together here within the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Videos will be coming very, very soon because the way the office space is going to set up, it's going to complement everything. I'm very excited with that. So now that I am officially moved in and that clusterfuck of stress is out of the way,
Right.
I can actually start putting effort into this.
Yeah.
This thing.
Hello, Project Airwaves.
Hello.
Jumping off, I'm D.
This is Lyn.
Project Airwaves. We're back at it again. We're so happy that you are here with us. Spend time with us. Nice. Oh, no, I thought that's what you were going to do. You made the pop noise
The pop noise?
from that guy. It was like, I thought you were going to.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. So I got the cherry on top.
If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Check out all of our other social media. Links will be in the description. We're on a TikTok. Go check out our Patreon. Give us your money. We love you. We'll give you kisses. Let's jump into it. What's the first thing we're talking about?
Well,
I mean, you technically did talk about your new place. You didn't really go into much detail.
Bits and pieces, more or less. Now that things are up and running, I will know within the first month how strenuous this may or may not be because I'm practically doing it independently on my own. I don't know a lot of people in my life that are able to purchase a location on their own that aren't relying on a significant other to help pay their bills and stuff like that.
Yes.
So the independence is more or less just a flex because at the end of the day, it's, I got no one else to show it to other than me to say that I was able to do this, get myself in here, and all my bills for this are coming out of my pocket. I'm not having to split the profit with somebody else in order to survive because I feel like now you have a lot of people who get locked into certain situations where they're like, well, fuck, I can't go anywhere because I have to have a roommate or I have to stay with this person in order to make sure that I can stay afloat and not be homeless.
Right.
I want to be the proven fact that you don't because I don't make a huge amount of money. I make just enough to get by even prior to this place, but with proper management and being able to actually control funds and make sure that I'm actually responsible for what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
You can do it. You can hold it down. I'm not in the same location I wanted to be, but it's still a pretty decent part of town.
It's a start.
It's a good start, and this is going to be a profitable outcome because I know within the next. I noticed. So I haven't been over on this side of town in so fucking long.
Yep.
I didn't realize everything changed. Everything changed.
McDonald's now.
I saw, because I was driving past, I don't want to put too much of where I'm at right now, but one of the spots there was an old tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. And they shut it down, and now
it's been gone.
It's gone. It's bulldozed down.
Bulldozed
and there's a Dutch Bros there now.
Fucking Dutch Bros.
I had no idea.
And they're about to build the dispensary.
Yeah, but then I saw on the other side, there's this giant, like, hospice thing going on next to the AZ.
Yeah. It's like, but why wouldn't I want to get high and then go get a tattoo? Like, that makes perfect sense.
I just see the aspect of things starting to modernize, and I'm seeing now that there's parts in this town that are getting remodeled. Yes. Because I remember when I talked to D about this not too long ago when I wanted to purchase the spot, it's not somewhere I was trying to call home permanently.
Right.
It was, how can I take this place, invest, get equity to grow, and then flip it and sell it and get something better. Right. Because realistically, trying to buy a brand new home in this market is fucking impossible. It's
disgusting.
Almost gave up trying just to get this spot.
Yeah.
Because of all the fucking hurdles you had to jump through. Realistically, I'm like, they don't make it easy for you to purchase a home.
No.
They make it like, you sure you don't want a cosigner? You sure you don't want to do this? Okay, here's this bill. Here's this.
Well, and they
you have to
look
sign
at you
this.
crazy because you want to do it by yourself.
I got asked multiple times. Oh, you sure you don't want anybody to cosign? No, I got it. Okay, well, let's do a credit check. Credit's fine. Okay, well, you have a car payment. I can take care of my car payment. Don't worry about that. Well,
it's not
we need
normal.
we need you to sign these documents. Got them signed. They put so many roadblocks in to stop you from being
Doing it
able
by
to get
yourself.
something. I'm like, it should not have been this difficult. It was such a stressful ordeal to get in here. It's not. It's probably one of the most stressful things I've ever had to do.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not. There's not a lot of people I know, and even I was talking to one of my coworkers. She was telling me how that when her and her husband and their kids were trying to buy their home, she's like, I was so close to giving up had my husband not pushed us through it.
Right.
Because realistically, it's impossible as an independent person to try and purchase something.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's like,
even looking back at my parents, you remember our old house?
Yeah.
When we moved into Centennial, that got foreclosed on because they wouldn't refinance with my parents. Mm-hmm. My parents had to move into a condo.
Oh, I didn't know that was that gated community. I didn't know it got
foreclosed on. It got foreclosed on.
Oh, okay.
Because the housing bubble had burst and all the prices were coming down, but they weren't renegotiating their mortgage. Mm-hmm. So they're paying a mortgage as though the house was still worth 1.6 mil or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it had devalued to like 800,000 or something for a hot second.
Right.
So they wouldn't budge. So my parents were like, "Fuck it, we're out." Mm-hmm. They got an apartment or a condo, and then put in the hard work, fix their credit, and then put in for a new house, which is the house they live in now.
They're still living in that one story?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know. That was
it's crazy seeing the shit they went through for the first house, seeing the shit they went through for the second house, and then seeing the shit you went through. It's just like, dude,
it's
wow.
It's hard. The only reason why, and everybody's, they're trying to congratulate me and give me props for getting this spot, and it's cool. It's a cool achievement, but it's kind of like you're forced to have to own right now because renting is impossible. My last spot that I was just in, and I'm the lease is up on that on the 21st of this month. Mm-hmm. They wanted me to up because my roommate's already out. They wanted me to up the rent to like $1,800 by myself month to month on a 2-bedroom, and I'm like, there's no fucking way, dude. We were paying $14, and they bumped it up $400 in within a year span, and I'm like, dude, this is stupid. Like there's nobody that can afford this shit.
I've never understood that logic either. Like in general, like okay, so we already know there's 2 people living here. One person moved out. And we're gonna up your rent, so we already knew you could barely afford it at $1,400. So we're gonna bump it up to $1,800. Be like, you're cool, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that. Or like when you're late, you're late paying your rent,
dude.
So
and
then they give you late fees, motherfucker. If I couldn't pay
they hit you with the late fees.
How can I pay with late fees?
The 3 benefits that I've seen so far with actually owning your own place is your mortgage never changes.
It is locked in.
You're locked in, and you can refinance to get it even fucking lower.
Yes, that's fair.
The late fee thing, you're extended out. Normally, you got to pay the first of the month for rent, and then you get like maybe 4 days until you have to give a late fee.
4 or 5, yeah.
I don't have to pay my rent until the 15th.
Nice.
So from the 1st to the 15th, if I don't pay it in between, I'm not struggling.
Right.
It's the 15th where it's like, all right,
everything hits
the fucking fan. So the fact that you have a good negotiation space of how far is good. And then my final thing is that I know that this location, because I was speaking to you about it, now that I've driven around and see, they're remodeling and building around this.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, because it used to be rough. And I was like, realistically, I was like, I can't. And it's obviously still not 100% the best compared to what I was, but now that I'm seeing the remodeling aspect, in the next 2 years, the equity on this place, like I purchased this spot, I'm not going to put the amount out there, for what it was supposed to be, and then within the time that I was purchasing it when I was in escrow, it went up $10,000. I gained ridiculous. So my realtor told me, she's like, you gained $10,000 in equity and you haven't even purchased it yet.
Oh,
in a month because of the surroundings. So imagine a year's worth. When I was talking to my buddy James, because him and his wife just moved into their 3rd home now. Yeah, they sold. You went to the first one out in North Las Vegas. They bought the second one out in Centennial, and that house was worth $325,000. And they were in there for a year and some change, and it got pushed over $500,000, like almost 600.
Flip it, buy.
They flipped. So he was smart. He's like, you know what? We don't need a big house. Mm-hmm. They flipped it, sold it, and bought a condo.
Right.
No, not a condo, a townhome. These townhomes are so fucking nice.
Yeah.
You would think they were a house. I walked in, I'm like, this looks like a house.
It's a house.
It's just the
a
backyard
different
is
name.
tiny. The backyard's tiny, but then he's like, why buy another house and get stuck in the same thing when I can buy a condo or a townhome for cheaper?
Yeah.
Fucking
It's a little smaller.
It's a little smaller, but it's still fucking huge.
Well, and that's the thing. Living in Vegas, well, at least for me and a few other people out there, because Lyn, did you live in an apartment?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, okay. Well, not when we met. You were
No. I was always with my parents. My parents were always renting homes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they. You know what's funny? And I was talking to my dad about it. The house he's living in now. This is he's a first time home buyer.
Wow.
So Notch is in his 50s.
Yeah.
And
this you guys were just renting when we met?
Yes.
Wow.
Everything that they've. Oh, and I didn't know this as
Yeah.
a kid. I'm thinking, they own these spots.
Right.
They just wanted to flip it and sell it. When he got this place, he told me when he was helping me move, he goes, I've been in this new place for a total of 2-3 years. And he got FHA. And I was like, FHA? And he's like, yeah, I was a first time home buyer. I never owned anything. So
That's
that means my
insane.
mother never owned anything either.
Right.
So for me at my age to say that I've physically owned something.
Oh, yes.
And not
it
had
puts you on a different level.
It's a different aspect to know, like, all right, it's doable.
Yes.
It's doable as long as you're willing to put in the work for it.
Well, and you don't, unlike Notch, you don't have a family necessarily that's relying on you per se like
Right.
that. You know what I mean? Where
It's-
your
it's-
money's
yeah.
going elsewhere.
The money has to fluctuate through, and that is a true point.
Oh, good job.
Go ahead and continue.
All right, Lyn's gonna take a break. But it's cool to see, like Lyn said, it's cool to see him achieve new heights and actually, because this is shit we've talked about for decades, since we were old enough to understand what owning a house meant. Me and him have been talking about it. It's kind of a small competition between us, like who can really achieve.
It's a flex.
It's a flex, but it's like who can achieve their life goals first. So it was like he started working at 16, I started working at 18, but I would like make more money, and then he'd get a new job and make more money, and then he got his first car, and then my first car was a truck. So then he did it next.
Yeah.
We've always kind of just been in like competition with each other. You know, of course, fun, friendly competition, but it's like pushing each other to the next level. So my thing is right now, what I'm working on is I just wrote my book. It's in the draft phase. I'm about to publish it. I was trying to publish it last month, but some things came up. So that's going to be upcoming and in the woodwork here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. It's called A Lost Mind Guided by a Tormented Soul. It's a poetry book. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Okay? Don't overthink it. It's very simple. Just write.
I'm just going to hold it until I can figure this shit out.
The orange better be fucking soul.
I'm telling you, you're going to have to say it eventually.
I don't want to get canceled. We just started.
We just started.
Did
You're
you
right.
know with the way we're uploading everything, we have over 100 uploads on YouTube already? We're not even at episode 100 yet.
Really?
Yeah, with all of our uploads, and then, like I said, our new formatting system.
So what are we at on Anchor right now?
Anchor, I would say it's right behind it, because Anchor, I just caught everything up.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, no, Anchor's different, because I don't break it into parts on Anchor. So
Oh,
that
you're
might be a
doing
little-
a full upload at a hit. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know, our new format for our episodes is we kind of break it into 3 parts as best we can. And I'll upload pieces on YouTube. But if you want the full episode off top, you want to go ahead and check out our Patreon, sign up. You get first dibs. You get to see the whole episode up front. You don't have to wait for the parts to come out. So
Hey,
just a
speaking
little,
of, we got to go on to the next one. I
icing
didn't
on the
realize
cake.
it.
All right, so
Did you
that
put a
was
timer?
good for part 1.
Okay, bye.
All right, next one.
Bye. We're here.
Ah!
Looks
I
like
don't know
a
what
command. Chipmunk.
Oh, yeah. One thing real quick.
Huh?
You fucker, you got me hooked on this Dragon Ball Z game.
Yeah, it's Fighter Z.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? And I could have done this forever ago, but I feel like there hasn't been a time in a while where I've been able to do like just a what would you consider that? It's not like a RPG, it's a
like an arcade game?
yeah, like an arcade game.
Yes.
Where it's like you don't really need to pay attention to the fucking story. You're
No.
just going in there and you're button mashing.
Yes.
And I
For
got it like
hours.
a week or two ago, and anytime I'm like, I just want to go in, throw down for like maybe 20-30 minutes. But I kid you not, the minute I start,
Yes.
the adrenaline starts pumping.
It's gorgeous.
It wakes me up, and I'm
Yes.
like, okay, this
It's
is
like
actually
you almost feel like you're fighting
yes.
because you're having to react so
Yeah,
quick.
the reaction, testing your reaction.
So a
speed.
little quick, not update, quick side note with me and Lyn. We've talked about it before, but this is the thing. We are competitive when it comes to fighting
Yeah.
games. Soul Calibur, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi, Bleach,
I forgot about
Street
that one.
Fighter.
Yeah.
Just about
Marvel vs.
vs.
Capcom.
Capcom. Smash Bros. Any fighting game we can get our hands on that both of us like, we will fight each other.
Yeah.
So the biggest 2 games we had back in the day were Soul Calibur and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Me and him, like I've talked about before, he's Siegfried, I'm Nightmare. Dragon Ball Z, however, whole different story. I have Gohan, that's my boy. Lyn would fuck with Goku, Vegeta, and the other kids, and we would battle for hours. And just like our eyes would be burning. Like that's how much we would go.
Between that and getting like carpal tunnel in your hands and shit, you're just like...
Well, because they had that weird thing where it was like you had to wiggle both
at the same time with the beams.
He always lost.
I couldn't fucking
I
hated that shit.
But now he's got me hooked, so I'm gonna have to look into it. What's it called?
Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Fighter Z.
Yeah.
Oh, so, like Z Fighters?
And Z, is that what it is? It's Z, yeah.
I don't know. That's just what they're called.
I think it's just Z Fighters. Yeah, it came out 2018, so it's older, but it's
it looks beautiful.
They're consistently updating it.
It looks.
So the playability's there for quite a while. So like I said, I'm gonna get another controller, and we're just gonna fucking
we'll be on
it.
Yes. And trust me, we will have video footage of this. Like
you know
guys,
what? I forgot about that. That could be a.
I'm doing some stuff with our videos. Yeah. They're getting a little more fancy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have some footage of us battling it out while you're listening to us talk as well. Yeah. So it'll be cool, fun times. So something we didn't talk about, because Lyn was worried, but now that worry has subsided.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't really, it holds value, but it's now more
like, it's not just that.
Yeah,
it's more of like a part of the whole. So this whole censorship, age restriction nonsense going on with YouTube. Who was the first guy it started with? I forget his name.
Andrew Tate.
No, not Andrew Tate.
Oh,
the YouTuber who made the video that got it all started.
Oh, CoryxKenshin.
CoryxKenshin.
Yeah.
He put out a video.
My name
one
is
of his
CoryxKenshin.
mortuary's assistant.
But a lot of people played that. Yeah,
flagged.
a lot of people played that shit. And it's like
he made a video, brought up Markiplier. His video, they got flagged, they removed the flag, and then all of a sudden a few days later they put the flag back on Kenshin, and then they flagged Markiplier's video.
Well, one of the things that they were adding up to, and it's one thing that's I wanted to talk about, is it obviously comes more or less back to social media and how a platform holds a lot of power. But the thing is that you don't know if these platforms are being individually operated by actual employees or if it's all run on a what was it? The algorithm, like a bot just doing everything.
Well, and YouTube is owned by Google.
Yes, so it being so it's got an AI
right. Google's practically
mentality to be able to run things, and CoryxKenshin did exactly that. When he got age restricted for a certain scene in that game, he was the only one out of everybody. So he put it out.
Research.
He put it out on social media saying like, hey, he asked YouTube like, why am I getting restricted? He asked for it to be rebutted, and they denied him.
Yeah,
and it's up there like.
Oh yeah,
15, 17 million.
And he's big. He gets millions of views.
But he went back and found that Markiplier had the same game.
Yes.
And that his wasn't restricted. So he brought it back to his YouTube rep and he said, hey, so this guy did the exact same thing and he's not age restricted.
Right.
So what's going on? So rather than YouTube, bunkering down and be like, well, this is the reason why, they unage restricted him.
Right.
And then let him play. So Corey decided to spout it saying, hey, what the fuck? I need to know why you did it, not just give it back to me.
Right.
So YouTube punished him and age restricted him.
And then hit Mark.
And
apparently they've hit everybody else now.
Jack got it. Everybody got it. So then, CoryxKenshin pretty much put out there that YouTube's being racist and they're profiling because for him to be one of the few black YouTube people that creators that comes in and is actually able to hold
views. Right.
He's always in the top ranking, but he goes on these little hiatuses.
I was gonna say can disappear.
He'll disappear for months.
I didn't even know who he was. I've seen him because Lyn had brought him to my attention. I used to watch a YouTuber called Dashi, and this was a few years ago. I guess him and Dashi would hook up from time to time, but I never watched the videos. So when I saw that video, I saw the initial Kenshin video. And then I think I saw it on maybe Philly D or some other news channel I was watching. And it was just very interesting to see. I was like, oh, crap, that's that guy. And then he's like, yeah, sometimes I'm gone for 6 to 9 months out of a time. Come back, make a video, and it's getting 9-10 million hits. And I'm like, dude.
He said it so anytime that he disappears for a little bit, comes back, puts out a video, it gets the top ranking. Like in the top 3.
Trending.
Yeah, trending. He's like number 1 trending. YouTube has a tendency to hit him with a flag on something.
Yeah,
and it happens so frequently, so he's like, why the fuck's this happening to me? And the thing is with how social media is now is that the way that these platforms are running, they don't have to explain anything to you. I understand it
Unfortunately, they don't.
because at the end of the day, it's like if you're going to use their shit, you have to abide by whatever the rules they want.
Yes.
It's kind of like the casino policy where if someone comes in and they do something, we just want you gone. They're like, well, why? Well, it doesn't matter.
Well,
I have to explain to you. It's the right to refuse service.
I think people are upset now because YouTube has become corporatized. Because when me and you first got into YouTube, we were in high school, right? You couldn't necessarily post anything and everything, but you could damn near post anything you wanted on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And so people got used to that. And it was one of those things like having a casual Friday.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was casual Friday every day. But now YouTube's like, okay, well, casual Friday is only on Fridays. So people are having an issue with it because they're used to the freedom to be able to just say.
It's done this thing now where I don't want to get sidetracked with it because I want to talk about Mark Zuckerberg just because he was on Rogan's podcast not too long ago.
Really?
To put Zuckerberg on there,
yeah, talking about that whole FBI shit with the Facebook and Donald Trump.
Yeah, that was one of them. One of the things that he put out there. So I'll tarry back to what we were talking about. Yeah. Zuckerberg put this thing out where he was talking to Rogan and he was saying that you're in the next year or two, you're going to have the ability to, let's say you're in a conference and you're talking to somebody, and in your glasses or your contact, a message will pop up in the corner of your eye.
Yes.
And the last thing you want to do is pull out your phone because it's being rude. So all you would have to do is do a slight twitch of your wrist, and it would pick up the message, pick up the motion of the message. Yeah. It's linking up with
it's augmented reality.
What Musk is trying to do is that neural link in the back of the head. Exactly. And they're trying to sync that up with what Zuckerberg's talking about doing.
Meta.
Yeah. So so it's the metaverse. Yeah. So it's the metaverse.
Yeah.
It's already in play.
Oh no, it's been in play.
But it's actually going to be publicly put out into play within the next year or so.
That's where shit gets scary.
And Rogan put it out there. He said, "Dude, he goes, that's people are already distracted by their phones. Right. If you put the ability for them to completely disconnect,
your fucking eye,
completely disconnect from a conversation by saying, "Hold on, let me get this,"
right, and then
staring off into the fucking distance and computing shit, bro. It's gonna cause gonna cause people's ability to have one-on-one conversations obsolete.
Because and Zuckerberg will be people who don't want it.
And Zuckerberg just stopped and stared at him. He goes, "Well, I didn't think about it like that."
Yeah,
Rogan stumped him. He's like, I didn't think about human communication.
In Mark Zuckerberg's brain, everybody's a fucking Gen Z millennial, and nobody's older than that or something.
But
it's just like he just expects us to do these things.
He doesn't expect us. What I think it is that we're considered, since what is it, millennials? Is that what it is?
I think.
Is that what we are?
I think we're Generation X.
Is it? No, I feel like we're millennials. No. In our timestamp, I'm pretty sure
we
millennials.
might be millennials.
So
yeah, that's fair.
Because we're at an older era.
Yes.
It puts us to where we don't put out the funding.
Yeah, we don't matter.
We don't matter.
We don't matter.
We don't put out the funding in order to progress humanity into being more, not scientific, modernized. So in order to appeal to the crowd that does, Gen Z, whatever, that's something that they want.
Yes.
Opposed to the old cats when we're accustomed to the basic shit like the flip phones and everything like that.
Yes.
Why appeal to us? Because it doesn't matter what we think. We're not gonna.
Unfortunately, yes. From a social media aspect, yes, you're absolutely correct.
For a social media aspect, because what runs the world right now? Social media.
Kids and
social media. They have there's TikTokers that make more money than old school actors like Brad Pitt, an actor that's been around for fucking years, one of the top. And
no, I will say yes, but that's not solely from TikTok. That's from advertisers and stuff that they got from TikTok. Yes. I'll give you that.
So, what's her name? There's the Samsung commercial where the girl picks up her phone. She goes, "Hey Google, what's this song?"
Yeah,
Addison Rae.
Yes. Ugh.
Do you see why she's popular?
No.
Because she came from TikTok, and you know what her net worth is now?
I'm sure a few mil.
Higher than most actors that have been acting for years. So it goes to show that what he's doing, I get it, but Zuckerberg's appealing to the younger generation, and Rogan's on our side saying, "Well."
It's not even on our side. Here's the thing, and I get it. You got to appeal to the younger generation, blah, blah, blah. The problem is, like they said, if you never learn from history, then you're doomed to repeat it. There's a reason old people complain about the new generation and the shit they do. It's because the new generation, it's almost like they're derailing something that was already fine. There was nothing wrong with it. We didn't have an issue with communicating by email, by text message, by phone, or me just coming over to your house. us having cell phones didn't make us better friends, is what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Having MySpace didn't get me a bigger friend group.
Right.
Stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, with us old people, we can kind of see the future because of the past we lived through. Because of our present, our present is their past.
But think about it also like this, is that when we were in our present, when we were riding our bikes around and actually, playing video games and texting.
Right.
Our parents were saying the same shit about us.
No, that's what I mean. That's why old people complain about
They're
the
like,
generation,
well, back in my day, we didn't need phones. We used to just meet up with each other at the park and throw fucking hit a stick and a ball.
But nowadays, you have kids that are socially inept and can't even function in public because they're so used to being online.
So yes, that is also true. That's changed the adaptation of how. Somebody mentioned it a long time ago. It was a good quote. I know I'm gonna fucking butcher, and I've tried to say it before. Is like, was it soft men make hard times, which in terms makes the world like harder to live in. So in order for the world to become more pliable, you need hard men to make softer times. But in order to make hard men to make softer times, you're gonna create more soft men that return makes hard times.
It's a revolving.
It's a revolving door. So we were the hard men.
Right.
Soft times came in. It made fucking
Soy
life
boys
way fucking harder.
Mm-hmm.
So now harder men are going to come back in and reset the fucking cycle.
I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so, because this change, this paradigm shift we've been seeing lately, and that's something I might save for overthinking a session. Just with the whole masculinity thing has been very interesting to see over the course of my past
I want to talk about that on the next one, but we're going to cut it here.
Definitely on the next one. So that's the end of part 2.
Bye.
Next one. 3, 2, 1. Part número 3.
When you're working that 9 to 5.
Go.
So I was showing, how do I explain it? It'll kind of go back into what we were just talking about a minute ago, just the whole
you
concept.
Mean the previous episode?
The previous episode, I apologize, yes. Is it possible for people to truly get canceled?
No.
Is that something to where you can actually get canceled from what is happening around the world?
You can get canceled from the internet? You can get canceled from
a platform.
Yes.
So we will touch about it just because, it's just somebody that I've been hearing a lot about. Not that I agree with everything he talks about, but a lot of his shit makes sense.
Yes.
Andrew Tate was one of these people that have gotten so popular. Last month, he was the most Googled man on the planet.
Social media-wise, he got popular.
Social media-wise,
because he has his own business.
He was smart enough to put together a business in order to build money. It's a pyramid scheme, no matter how you put it. But that pyramid scheme, one of the requirements is that they uploaded videos of him talking about shit
on their media.
And even after Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram banned him from everything, he was still able to get on a platform called Rumble and still communicate with other shit with his other brother.
He didn't even need to, because that's what I mean. With his little pyramid scheme going on thing, I forget, it's called like Hustle or something.
Hustle University.
Hustle University. He's had that for years. The boy is a 2-time world kickboxing champ, 4-time world champion. Okay, he has clout just because he's a world champion. He already had his little business. He has people following him, paying him thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars just to spend time with him.
I showed you the video, right? Yeah, I sent you that video for it. So it breaks down him as a person. There's a lot of guys around the world that are, not a lot, but you got the 5% of individuals that are very self-successful in their own way,
but they're very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Eccentric. There's always some weird quirk about them.
Yeah, they're not average. It's the equivalent of if you, not that we're ever probably in our lifetime going to be able to be around these kind of people, but no, meaning like who mentioned it? I hate to keep repeating Rogan. I know it's somebody else. You know the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire based off their personality. When you're around a billionaire, they have this weird antisocial aspect of they only want to talk to people that are like them. They're socially awkward because they're not hanging out with lower class people like us. Right. Like you're around that billionaire and they don't act this fucking same.
Right.
I mean, you have a conversation because we're in the same class.
Yeah.
A billionaire comes in, they're going to talk about shit that we know nothing about.
Right.
And the millionaire, it'll be even less, and thousandaire even less, and then modern people like that. So that individual, what is weird to us is normal to him because he's around people that are like that all the time.
Right. And that's what I mean. He's always had money.
Let
me correct that. Since he started kickboxing.
Yes.
He grew up in the slums. His dad was we talked about this in a previous episode. His dad was a grandmaster at chess, not officially certified, but he was a grandmaster. Taught Andrew everything he knew. He taught Andrew how to be strategic. And Andrew Tate said it himself. Like Lyn says, the guy's a fucking whack job, but he says shit that makes sense. And he said it in one of his interviews way back when. He doesn't want to stop moving. If he stops moving, he dies.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sounds crazy if you take it at face value. But when you really think about it, isn't that what the fuck we're all doing? We're all waking up every day, going to work, paying bills, running errands, doing all this stuff just to live. If you stop doing that shit, you die.
He mentions it, and there's a clip that I was sharing. There's a clip of Morpheus when he's talking to Neo, and they're walking through the Matrix, and he's explaining it to how the Matrix is.
Yes.
And then he comes across a woman in the red dress.
Yes.
You see Morpheus walking, and you just see Andrew Tate on the back of his head as he's walking, and Neo is supposed to be you, and then you see people passing by, and you see Instagram and Facebook, and then you see him look at the woman in the red dress, and it just pins up Pornhub and a bunch of other stuff. And he looks back at Neo, or he looks back at Morpheus, and Morpheus is like, now, were you looking at me, or were you looking at the lady in the red dress? And he goes, well, yeah, that lady. And he goes, well, look again. And he turns, and it's the agent, but then it says government.
Yeah.
So it showed that not to be obviously
what is
the word? A conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
But we're so accustomed to having social media, be it Pornhub, be it it said Pornhub, video games, and a bunch of other shit.
Everything.
That was the redhead woman that everybody tries to focus their eyes on. That when we finally get in there, the government decides like, all right,
behind it, when you see what's really going on,
it showed the agent pointing the gun at his face, saying, you need to pay attention to what's going on. With how he talks, for like you said, the young boys that aren't accustomed to actually dealing with life shit, it puts in a perspective like, maybe there is something outside of this. Maybe the Matrix is an actual thing.
Well, and it's unfortunately not that logical. And my issue is, like we discussed, if me and Lyn were, 18, 20 again? Just going through our relationships, just getting into the world, just starting work, really seeing how the world really works outside of mom and dad's house. If me and him had come across Andrew Tate, would have been a wrap. We would have followed the cat. We probably would have signed up for his program because we needed that push to...
Sorry, go ahead. That's a good point. And someone made a comment in one of his videos. So people were bitching, saying, don't follow him as a role model. Don't do this, do this. And he goes, I agree. He goes, don't follow me as a role model. Don't listen to what I have to say. Go get your own role model that you feel will align with your goals.
Right.
But let me ask you, where are your role models at? Who's there?
Are they making any money?
Who's there?
Right.
Who's there giving you advice for free?
Right.
And that is the one thing I will agree with him on, is that if people want to bitch about the bad shit he's doing and they want to be like, oh, we'll follow a better role model, give me somebody.
Well, and that's like what I was saying in the previous episode. The fact that he appeals to people is the problem, because if everybody was able to speak freely, and I say that with heavy quotes, freely, then we could argue Andrew Tate in an open forum. And it's like, okay, what you're saying, this is right, this is wrong. And then people could either choose to listen to him or choose not to listen to him. We made him popular. Us as the public made him popular. Other men, other women, people that hate him, people that love him, they made him popular.
Yeah, it's true.
There never was a time where it's like, oh, we don't have Nicki Minaj, we don't have Cardi B, we don't have Megan Thee Stallion.
Trash, man.
All of this shit you
get tired of
these
fucking
are not
being
positive role models. When I hear about what's her name, something baby from Dr. Phil, the Cash Me Outside girl.
Oh yeah,
she turned 18, started her OnlyFans, made almost $4 million or something like that. Almost crashed the site in the first few hours she had just turned 18. Motherfuckers were that thirsty for her. These are the role models that Lyn is saying that we are showing people. And I'm sorry to just mention females, but that's just been the shit that I've seen lately.
It's being forced upon, and that's one of the things.
So what do you expect when you have a Tate come along?
When that one person comes in and challenges all that, they're like, well, you need to get rid of him and ban him and then just focus on these. It's like, you're forcing for me to have to be around.
What if what he's saying is working for me? What if that is helping me get bitches? What if that is helping me get money? It's my
independency as a person to be able to decide if I want to follow that person or not.
Exactly.
But we have that age mindset to where we know, okay, this isn't all 100%. Right. There's a little bit of bullshit in between that I can kind of sift through. But an undeveloped mind, like an 18-year-old, would be very pliable to be able to take that shit in and take it 100% running. So you get what was happening. I think Philly D was saying is that it was Philly D or somebody was saying how you got little boys that are coming in and like kids in like 4th grade are are mentally demoralizing little girls saying
Yes.
you should be at home cooking and cleaning and you're
Right,
fat and
because
overweight.
listening to this dude
They're listening
verbatim.
to him. Yes. So that's I understand, but that's no different than introducing a fucking a minor to pornography at a very young age.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to corrupt them no matter what.
But that's what I mean. Us as the older folks
Mm-hmm.
can say that, hey, Andrew Tate is nothing special. We've seen cats like him before.
Right.
We've seen this. So then it doesn't catch people so off guard.
Mm-hmm.
And people aren't so on it. But because we have social media, people think like if you were born before 2020, you just were stupid and lived in the Stone Age. So that's what I mean. There's always been that kind of issue with bridging the gap between history and the future. What's going on right now is going to become somebody's past, but we're trying to look forward to the future, but we can't get there because we keep repeating everything that happened yesterday. So it's just crazy, like watching it happen. And like I said, we're the watchers. We're the next generation. We're the ones that are going to take over when mom and pops pass on. We're the ones that are going to have to oversee and hopefully pass on our wisdom to one of these youths, female, male, what have you, and actually give them something to chew on and give them something to digest that's worthwhile to put in their brain outside of listening to Andrew Tate. And hopefully they have a filter to filter out the dumb shit from the actual, from the shit that they should.
You're very optimistic to
Yes,
believe that
I know.
anybody's going to want to listen to anything we have to say. At the end of the day, I've seen it, especially with me working where I work now. There's so many more or less mid or to younger people that I'm training to be, security officers. And just the way that we were raised, we're very like, if I see you and I make eye contact with you and I like nod my head at you or say hello, that's a normal day to day for me. And I'm noticing that farther in that I go, even where I live now, people won't even give you fucking eye contact at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you're getting a lot of kids where it's like, there was one student today that my boss, she was walking around, and one of the things that we do on the first week of Essentials, there's multiple things. It's learning what ERT does with active shooters, how canines know how to sniff out bombs and shit,
Right.
how to deal with prostitution and sex trafficking. So one of the ladies that comes in, we get a guest speaker that talks about sex trafficking, and it's a pretty scary thing. Like, it's crazy not to know this. I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, honestly, but in the world, Nevada is one of the central hubs for sex trafficking. They will pick up girls. Let's say
off the fucking street.
Yes, off the street. Like I say, a girl comes from Utah or comes from Washington or Idaho, and she comes to visit Vegas for the weekend. And a pimp decides to, he snatches this girl up. It's her. She's wide-eyed, and she wants to visit the town and live her best life and think, at the end of the weekend, I'm going to go home. So I'm going to, pimp comes in, spoils her, takes care of her, gets her accustomed to fucking around with guys, and then that weekend trip turns into 2 weekends. To a third, to a month.
Well, he takes all of her stuff. He cuts off her line to get home. Takes all of her money. Now he's in possession of it. And now it's almost like she owes him something. And that's what I mean. Like when I met my first prostitute, she was 13. Okay, the first prostitute I ever detained, put in cuffs, called the police, wrote up a report. She was 13 from California. She ran away from her parents' house because her parents were being mean to her. Came out to Vegas, fucked men for money, got paid. And it wasn't until we caught her up, the security, not Metro, not Homeland Security, not none of those people. Men were banging this girl and paying her for it, okay? So just, I'm going to end it there, but I'm just saying, what we're talking about, the shit's legit.
So it's a big thing, and you've got younger students now where they're in this class, and it's pretty interesting information, and what they're doing is kicking their feet up on the desk, putting their hands behind their back, and just
fucking unacceptable,
just fucking chilling there.
And
so the guest speaker that came in, she snapped at this kid like, hey man, what the fuck, like, sit up, pay attention, don't nod off. He's like, oh well, this shit's boring. And she's like, this is interesting. This is actual information. You need to know this in security. He's like, nah, it doesn't matter to me. I can do this, this, and this. He got pulled out. My boss talked to him saying, hey, at the end of the day, if you don't want to fucking do this, you can leave. And he goes, it's just a job. He goes, I'm just going to cycle through this like we do anything else. And
he's also right.
All of them are like this now.
He's also right.
It's a different mindset to where no matter what fruitful information we want to give to a younger generation, it doesn't mean anything if their minds are already corrupted to not wanting to listen.
But it's not all of them, and that's where we got to turn into the Xavier Institute for Gifted Children.
I feel like I'm trying to catch fucking flies with a fish net. Like
yes,
it's going through one.
But you
the other.
can catch them, and that's the point.
Sometimes
you only
you
need
just
one fly.
Gotta catch them all.
Sometimes no, because guess what?
All right, Ash, catch them.
Yeah, you want to catch these nuts?
No,
okay, because they start out small, but they get too big for your hand, and then you can't hold them no more.
So your ass catch them.
All right, I got balls like I'm Ash catching.
All right, I'm done.
All right,
We're
so
done here.
yeah, that's kind of where we're gonna leave it for now. We'll pick up with some stuff later on. As we see the situation develop, because this whole Andrew Tate shenanigans is
those that's
oh
what
dear.
I wanted to talk about was the damn it,
Here we go.
the GTA clips.
Oh god, yes.
Oh my god, if you get the chance to look up just Andrew Tate GTA on YouTube,
it's hilarious.
there's so many fucking videos, and even he reacted to it on like after being banned on social media because he's on Rumble. He said there's a guy who made a Grand Theft Auto character of him, and it's like Andrew Tate catches you watching a 9 to 5.
Yes,
and it just shows him rolling up in the Bugatti. There's some weird like the EDM music playing in the background, and he like runs to the gas station.
You see the dude just run in. No, he's not saying anything.
Nothing. And he runs and just punches you in the face, and then it cuts out. There's so many different clips. Like the guy skydiving, he goes, when Andrew Tate catches you skydiving when you're supposed to be hustling.
Yes, and he
all
just
of a
drops
sudden,
in on a chair.
A fucking plane just comes, or a fighter jet crashes on a fucking building, and Andrew Tate comes running at you and punches you out of the sky.
What makes it funny, GTA, my hat's off to them. They somehow found the funniest fucking animation to punch somebody with.
Yes.
Because literally... If that animation wasn't as funny, that meme wouldn't have taken off.
No, they
I literally put in cheat codes on this game just so I could run around punching the shit out of people.
The one punch that could send people
It's a
flying.
great game. If you haven't yet already, I don't know how. Please check out Grand Theft Auto.
Of course.
It's hilarious. You can't miss it. Okay. You good?
I'm good.
All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm Z.
This is Lyn.
We're Project Airwaves. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. All of our social media links will be in the description down below. Check out our TikTok and Patreon. We love your attention. We love your money. We love your likes. Project Airwaves. Keep your head in the clouds.
Keep your feet on the ground, always moving forward.
I'm going to keep talking like this until we stop recording.
We're done.
You did real good.
Bye.
We'll catch you in the next one.
So good.
No, what did you say?
Your pecs better be swole.
Yeah, your pecs better be fucking swole.